Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of Mondays Are For the Nerds, your nerdy news podcast. I'm your co-host, Jay Wright.
I'm your other co-host, Tristan Stump.
And thank you for joining us this week as we recap this week's, or last week's, I should say, nerdy news.
Little last week's, little of this week's.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same next week because we thought, yes, we are going to do a day early, so we won't have, if there's any big news on Saturday, it'll all be for next week. We'll meet a little early so we can talk about some things, including the Summer Games Fest, at least the first day of Summer Games Fest. Guess what's premiering right when the only time today we could record?
Summer Games Fest.
So
you're going to have some updates from...
So
live.
Yeah, we don't know if it'll be like last week. We'll be live because there's going to be so much going on, and I also have so much to talk about already.
Yeah.
So if we seem a little distracted, it's because we are also on mute watching Summer's Games Fest, the opening day presentation for any new announcements or anything that might catch our eye. We already are running a little late because we got caught up watching some.
Yeah.
So
a couple trailers or two or three.
I went by work for something, and Jacob was like, "You should just do a live reaction episode instead of your normal stuff." I'm like, if we didn't have so much to go over.
That's stuff that we would have to put into next week.
Yeah.
Next week would be another 2-hour episode.
As far as my small talk goes, not a whole lot. I listened to some video essay / retrospectives on the Final Fantasy series. They go through each game. I've only watched this retrospectives on the first two because the first two alone was 3 hours.
I think it wasn't what you were watching whenever I got here one time.
No, that was a review. Was another guy reviewing them. This is a retrospective, so the other guy kind of went into the history, but this guy deep dives into the history of the game, does a full analysis on the gameplay and how it's groundbreaking or how it's different from other games in the series and how, fan reception and different things like that. It was really interesting, especially to talk. He brings up Star Wars in it quite a bit because there is some influence that Star Wars had on the series. Namely that the second game had a completely different story written, and then the creator watched Empire Strike Back and was like, never mind, scrap all of that.
We're going to add implements of that.
Yeah. So that's been interesting to listen to while I've been working, cleaning, and stuff like that. But other than that, I beat those 2 games last week, and then I kind of hit a roadblock where I can't really play a whole lot of games for now. But
we're getting into the busy weeks.
I did watch a couple episodes of the new Phineas and Ferb last night.
Yes, I wasn't able to get to it. I saw one was the vet.
Yeah, he goes to that. I haven't watched that one yet. I watched, obviously there was the preview that I told you about. Yeah. That was the first episode. And then I watched the second.
That was the full episode in entirety?
And I watched the second and third episodes. The second one is a follow-up to the first episode. And then the third episode is they build a submarine sandwich submarine.
I think I saw a teaser
and then get chased by a giant fish because
sandwich sub.
Yeah. So it was funny. There is a little to get used to on the animation. I know you're probably we should probably keep this for when your releases, but it's small. It's small talk, so I figure we can just get it covered now since you haven't even watched it yet. The animation's a little wonky, but also I'm thinking it's been 10 years. They have new animation teams, new talent working on it, because there'll be times where it's a little stiff, and there'll be times where it's so smooth that you're like, oh, wow, sun jumping animation that even the old show didn't do a whole lot. There's different techniques they're doing to approach. My biggest complaint is the first couple episodes, I got used to the animation, except on Baljeet. Whoever the animator was that got assigned to Baljeet just did something where he was kind of off the whole time.
Off looking?
Animation-wise. Yeah. There was just something about it. I can't put my finger on it, but Baljeet looks the weirdest. Everyone else looks fine or moves fine. But voice acting-wise, it's great. Joke-wise, it's so I'm so glad Phineas and Ferb is back. There's something about the dad humor that Phineas and Ferb has that other shows do dad humor, but not in quite the way that Phineas and Ferb does.
Oh, I can't wait to watch it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, 10 episodes.
10.
First half of the season. I will say Lorenzo Lamas isn't back to how do you ever say his last name? Is not back to voice Meep. John Stamos is voicing Meep instead because of scheduling conflicts. Which, I mean, the character wears mustaches to have different voices anyway,
Yeah.
so it's like, and he'll probably just have a different mustache on, but it's like,
Yeah.
it's kind of sad that it's meant to be
John
the last.
Stamos.
I think it's supposed to be the last in the Meat trilogy. Like, they might not bring Meat back after that, and so it's like, not having Lorenzo Lamas back to...
But it's John Stamos.
Yeah, but it's John Stamos, so that's cool.
Yeah.
There is one episode you can't watch, though, because the guest star is Anna Faris.
Well, I hope nothing important happens.
I think something important does happen.
I'll watch it and I'll like look away.
There you go.
Like I do when I rewatch Friends.
It's her voice. You don't have to look at her.
I can't watch Clyde Chance Meatballs.
I don't know. Your logic with...
Believe me, I wish I could watch Clyde Chance Meatballs 2 again.
You could if you would just get over it.
No. No. No, I can't.
Sir Chris Pratt has.
Sir, I thought Sir Chris Pratt is that he's been knighted. I'm like, I wish.
No, I said I'm sure Chris Pratt has gotten over it as well.
He has, but she hurt me harder.
Your parasocial relationship with these two is just...
I know. Should I get into my...
Yes, get into your releases.
Because I didn't do anything. I was busy with work and practice all week. I didn't get to do anything. And my releases for this week on the VOD/digital side, Monday, June 2nd, saw Sinners come to VOD. In theaters on Friday, June 6th, The Phoenician Scheme got an expansion for the 4th episode in a row. Dangerous Animals released. A shark-obsessed serial killer holds Zephyr, a rebellious surfer, captive on his boat. Racing against time, she must figure out a way to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. From the world of John Wick, Ballerina released, taking place during the events of John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. Eve Macaro begins her training in the assassin traditions of the Ruscaroma. I will be seeing that Sunday, so you'll get my thoughts on that. The Ritual, two priests must put aside their differences to perform a series of dangerous exorcisms on a possessed young woman, released. And The Life of Chuck finally got a limited release. This powerful tale celebrates the life of Charles Chuck Krantz as he experiences the wonder of love, the heartbreak of loss, and the multitudes contained in all of us. On the streaming side, Friday, June 6th saw Straw come to Netflix. A single mother's world unravels in chaos as her day goes from bad to worse to catastrophic as she struggles to care for her ill daughter. Pushed to the brink by a world that seems indifferent to her existence, she is forced to confront impossible choices in a society that offers her no safety net. I believe that's also Sinbad's return to acting after his stroke. I think I saw Tyler Perry say that. Predator, Killer of Killers dropped on Hulu. A Viking raider, a ninja in feudal Japan, and a World War II pilot encounter a fierce intergalactic hunter, getting excellent reviews. And the Alto-Knights came to HBO Max. All on Friday, June 6th. On the TV side of things, Sunday, June 1st, saw the series premiere of Duck Dynasty The Revival drop on A&E. Monday, June 2nd, saw The Quiz with Balls Season 2 premiere on Fox. Tuesday, June 3rd, saw Jenny and Georgia Season 3 release on Netflix. Wednesday, June 4th, saw The Stick series premiere on Apple TV+. Thursday, June 5th, of course, saw the Phineas and Ferb Revival premiere on Disney Channel for the 3rd episode in a row, and entire Season 2 drop on Netflix. And then Friday, June 6th, the entire season of Phineas and Ferb Revival dropped on Disney+. Resident Alien had its Season 4 premiere on Sci-Fi and USA Network. And that is all my releases for this week.
My releases for this week... Buckle up. June 1st saw the release of Shadowverse Worlds Beyond on PC from Cygames Inc. Shadowverse World Beyond is a brand new strategy card game from the popular Shadowverse card game with the newly added Super Evolution mechanic and Shadowverse Park, among other brand new content. There is lots to enjoy for both seasoned and brand new players. June 2nd saw the release of Popucom on PlayStation and PC from developer Hypergriff and publisher Griff Frontier. Venture together with your friends on an unknown planet. Use color switching, match 3 shooting, and artifact powers to overcome challenges and keep advancing. What lies ahead of you is an adventure filled with wonder, hope, and much more to discover. Void Scout and Void Sayer, also released on PC. I did not get more information on those games, so I apologize for that. Same with Midnight Mayhem on PC. June 4th, Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 released on PC, Switch, and PlayStation, and the next day on Switch 2 from Toby Fox. It's just Chapters 3 and 4 of we've been waiting a long time. I think 2019?
6 years.
No, maybe 2019 was when Deltarune Chapter 1 released. So Chapter 2 might have released... when did Chapter 2 release? Now I gotta look that up. Deltarune Chapter 2 released in 2021. So we waited
4 years.
We waited 3 years for Chapter 2 to come out. And then we waited 4 years for chapters 3 and 4, and then chapter 5 isn't coming out till next year, and I think there's going to be a total of 7 chapters, 8.
So they're really,
which I mean, it's a one-man team who is also having like other people help them every once in a while. So like, of course, it's going to take a long time, but we've been waiting a long time. So pretty cool to see it come out. I have been making sure I'm not spoiled on any of it because I'm trying to figure out if I want to get on my PC or if I want to wait until I have my Switch 2. To play it on there.
Yeah.
But speaking of Switch 2, June 5th saw the release of Nintendo Switch 2.
Yes.
As well as the games that launched with it. There were I saw all over social medias lines and lines of people waiting for the midnight release, even the next day. People dealing with Walmart was the one that
on top of it.
Walmart was the one that was on top of it, whereas everyone else either canceled orders, didn't know if you actually were needing to order anything.
Stapling receipts to the
Stapling, yeah. There was a GameStop in Long Island.
Oh, GameStop, yeah, not Target.
There was a GameStop in Long Island, I think, that was stapling receipts to the actual box, and it was piercing the screen of the Switch inside.
I think Chronister and Trey both told me that they pre-ordered through Walmart, and they're like, dude, always pre-order through Walmart because they had it like 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, Trey's like, he scared Allie when she went to leave for work, and then he showed up, and I was like, oh, you Switch.
So Target has been fulfilling orders, but it's been iffy, but they also, up to release, were canceling orders left and right.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of been, I mean, every console release is like this. If you remember how the PS5 was, I think the PS5 Pro's been having some problems. It's been crazy to see all that. It almost makes me glad I wasn't able to get it at launch because then it would have been a hectic day for me, especially because I worked that night. So I would have only had like...
And you would have known it would have showed up that early.
Yeah. But releasing alongside the Switch 2 was The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 editions. Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster from Square Enix. Bravely Default, the incredible first installment of the Bravely series returns, remastered in high definition. Without warning, the Great Chasm opened a hole in the world. Tiz is the sole survivor of a village swallowed whole by the chasm. In the depths of his despair, he encounters a young vestal named Agnes. Together, they set off on a journey with the goal of closing the chasm and freeing the crystal swallowed by darkness. They set off entirely unaware of the significance of that goal. This is an HD remaster of a 3DS game that I am very excited to play because I never got a chance to play the original. I played Bravely Default 2 on the Switch and really enjoyed my time with that, so it'd be nice to play the original. Fast Fusion, released on Switch 2 from Shinin. Fast Fusion is the fastest anti-grav racing game you may ever have experienced. Race with your anti-grav vehicle through brilliant tracks such as the beautiful Redwood Forest, the storm planet Tempesta, or through the lofty heights of Yama Crest. Use the exciting Fusion ability. Fusion lets you create hundreds of improved racing machines by fusing your favorite vehicles into new ones, with improved specifications and unique looks. Risk it all by mastering the new anti-grav hyperjump technology to get ahead of your opponents. Survival Kids, released on Switch 2 from Konami Digital. Picture this: a dusty old attic, cobwebs, forgotten boxes, and the faint smell of neglect. 4 curious kids stumble upon an ancient, tattered map sparking an unexpected adventure. Setting out to sea upon the ramshackle boat, a sudden ferocious storm hurls them into a hidden world brimming with danger and mystery. Now it's down to you to help them work together and find their way home in Survival Kids, a fast-paced co-op survival game for absolutely everyone. Stranded on a series of unique islands set upon the back of giant wordles, work together with up to 4 players online or 2 players in local to chop, explore, craft, fish, cook, and solve your way to safety while surviving everything the islands throws at you. Master the island's challenges, use the Harmony Stones to tame the storm, and make it back home with an epic story to tell. This is, I think, a new game. I don't think it's a remake. It's a new game in the series because there was a Survival Kids game that was added to the Game Boy NSO, I think, last week. Nintendo Switch 2 Your Welcome Tour, released on Switch 2 from Nintendo. Get an inside look at the Nintendo Switch 2 system. You know, when you stop to think about it, there are a lot of interesting technologies and clever designs that go into game systems. Let's discover Nintendo Switch 2. It's a collection of like mini games and demos and stuff to kind of...
The one that was like $10.99.
It's $10 for a demo. Like this should have been packaged in.
Like you said it's like the Astro's Playroom of it.
It's kind of like the Astro's Playroom. You get some mini games to help you learn how different things about the game work. You also get different like actual like tech demos where it's changing your TV's resolution and stuff to show you the difference between like the hertz of the screens and stuff. Very cool if it was free.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, at least it's only $10, but also
Yeah.
Come on.
Still.
You're already making us pay $80 for another game that we'll talk about later. So
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, Hogwarts Legacy, Fortnite, Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, No Man's Sky, Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening Complete Edition, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, Civilization 7, Sonic X Shadow Generation, Split Fiction, Street Fighter 6 Years 1 through 2 Edition, Psychoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, and Yakuza 0 Director's Cut were all ported to Switch 2 as day one releases. And then Mario Kart World released on Switch 2. The whole world is your racetrack in this massive evolution of the Mario Kart series. The courses you race are all connected in a seamless world. Drive the paths between them to traverse mountains, forests, cities, and more. Take in the sprawling vistas as you explore at your own pace and free roam, or watch how a sudden shift in weather can mix up a dead heat in a tense Grand Prix.
Moo.
So I've been seeing nothing but like there's some complaints about the game that I've seen, but it's mostly been like soundtrack's awesome, racing feels great.
Moo awesome.
Give me a second, Mr. Big the Cat. The new like bouncing off the walls and different things feels great apparently. Yes, there's all sorts of playable characters, including the cow. It's just called cow in the game, even though it was called Moo Moo in other games. I don't understand that. But it looks beautiful. The free roam has been what's divisive. Some people think the map doesn't have enough. Some people think that the free roam has enough for you to do, but then it's kind of overall, there's no way to keep track of everything you've done.
Yeah.
So when you're driving around looking for the next challenge, you don't know if you've missed anything or if you've gotten everything in an area. So that's kind of something that needs to be updated. Like there's definitely it's definitely a complete game, but there is this thing about it where kind of like the Nintendo sports games where it's not as bad as the Mario sports games where the roster's incomplete and they're making it kind of this like we're stretching it out on purpose. This is just like they focus so much on other things that they kind of forgot to be a little quality of life about other things, which is surprising. But those are things that I'm seeing where I'm like, those I would call them nitpicks.
Nitpicks, yeah.
Because Knockout 2, or I can't wait for. That's the one where it's just one straight line, and every like mark you get to, you have to get a certain place or you're eliminated. Yeah. I cannot wait to do that.
Oh, dude, that'd be so fun.
We can't talk about it too much because we haven't played it. There you go. And finally, I do, believe it or not, I do have one more release after that. That's not related to the Switch 2, though. June 6th saw the release of Dragon is Dead on PC from developer Team Suneat and publisher PM Studios. Dragon is Dead is a hack-and-slash roguelite action platformer. It offers tons of customization, fun with different character skill trees, and legendary equipment. So yeah, just to track a little bit back to the Switch 2, end of an era. Obviously, we're going from the Switch 1 to Switch 2. Not complete end of an era because Switch 1 is still getting some exclusives next year.
Yeah.
The Tamagotchi and Rhythm Heaven. So it's definitely like bittersweet. We have a new the biggest thing about the Switch 2 I've seen is that the Nintendo eShop runs smooth and is fast, and it's not a slog to go through. And that's just kind of how it's like everything's faster. Some Switch 1 games that weren't even weren't even listed as receiving the new updates to run better on Switch 2 are running better. Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is one of them. So it seems that games that do not have programmed in frame rate, like if it's the frame rate is just set to stabilize itself, it will receive as the highest frame rate that it was programmed to do on the Switch 2. So Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity runs at 60 frames per second, and then loading is faster on everything automatically. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, the alternate costumes immediately load in. You know how you have to wait a little while? They immediately load in now. Loading is faster on just a bunch of other games that I saw. And then games like The Legend of Zelda 2D games, the Link's Awakening remake, and the Echoes of Wisdom, those got actual free updates to run better. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet also did as well. And then games like Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears Kingdom are getting the paid upgrades, but they also, I think, will automatically at least load faster. Yeah. So that is my releases for this week.
I got my first batch of miscellaneous. On posters, we got for the second episode in a row, The Black Phone 2. Got a new poster for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. 28 years later, character posters. A new poster for Wicked for Good. Posters for Lurker, Alien Earth, and Freakier Friday. In terms of trailers, we got a new trailer for Gen V Season 2, releasing September 17th on Amazon Prime Video. The Black Phone 2 for the second episode in a row, releasing October 17th in theaters. Megan 2.0, releasing June 27th in theaters. Heads of State, July 2nd on Amazon Prime Video. Wicked for Good, November 21st in theaters. Kiss of the Spider-Woman, releasing October 10th in theaters. Alien Earth, releasing August 12th on Hulu. The Man in My Basement, releasing in 2025, sometime this year, in theaters and on Hulu. Jurassic World Rebirth for the third episode in a row, releasing July 2nd in theaters. And Freakier Friday, releasing August 8th in theaters. No release dates and windows were announced this week. But in terms of casting, Eric King will return as James Stokes in Dexter Resurrections for the second episode in a row. We got our full cast revealed for the Carrie series, featuring Summer H. Howell as Carrie White, Sienna Agudong as Sue Snell, Matthew Lillard as Principal Grail, Samantha Sloyan as Margaret White, Allison Thornton as Chris Hargensen, Thalia Dudek as Emmeline, Amber Midthunder as Miss Desjardins, Josie Toda as Tina, Arthur Conti as Billy, and Joel Ouellette as Tommy. Danny Boyle confirms that Cillian Murphy is in the second and third films of the 28 Years Later trilogy. Artificial, Andrew Garfield, Monica Barbaro, and Yura Borisov are in talks to star on Luca Guadagnino's next film for Amazon. The film follows a story involving OpenAI focused on the firing and rehiring of CEO Sam Altman, who will be played by Garfield. In the live-action Street Fighter movie, Walton Goggins is in talks to star as M. Bison.
That is an interesting choice.
Yeah, I saw the side-by-side of him, like the character. I'm like...
Yeah. And I hope he doesn't. The thing is, he's either going to have to bulk himself up, or they're just going to
bulk himself up.
Yeah, or they're going to just kind of make him look sort of like the character.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird. It's an odd choice
because Walton Goggins is very much, I feel like, a skinny man.
Like face wise, he could like if he did mocap for a game or something and played M. Bison. Totally.
Yeah. I'm like, I was just seeing the side by side, threw me off a little bit. And I was like, this feels weird.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Optimistic, hopefully.
Yeah, which he's being eyed. That doesn't mean it's happening.
Yeah. In talks.
Yeah.
Not officially.
If we say in talks or being eyed for, that is not an absolute official confirmation.
Because you remember when we had the Harry Potter casting.
Yeah. On the Sabrina Carpenter one, where it's like the source of that was someone being like, eyed. That might be like, I think it was wasn't Amanda Seyfried was like, yeah, that'd be an interesting choice.
Yeah. Tom Felton will be reprising his role as Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway. And in Star Wars Starfighter, Mia Goth has been cast. And Mikey Madison reportedly turned down a villain role due to a pay dispute. That's Sean Levy's Star Wars film with Ryan Gosling. And that is my first batch of miscellaneous.
We got my gaming miscellaneous. One more Switch 2 thing. GameCube games were added to the Nintendo Switch Online service, exclusive to Switch 2. So they were launched with the Switch 2. This application launched with The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That's my favorite Legend of Zelda game, by the way. And then F-Zero GX and Soul Calibur 2. Pokemon Legends ZA is now available for pre-order. Roadside Research was announced, a co-op gas station simulator game from Cybernetic Walrus. Play as aliens researching humans through the wonderful world of customer service. Gather data and upgrades for your technology and store without raising suspicion. Coming to PC. You're aliens with paper like taped over their face with like doodled smiles. And you have to like FBI agents or like CIA or whoever would like they show up
and you're like
and you have to like complete little mini games and it's like breathe like a human.
Dude. Oh my goodness.
So that looks hilarious.
We need to play that.
The Endless Inferno update for Temtem Swarm releases June 17th. Anima Gates of Memories 1 and 2 remaster was announced. An HD remaster of the classic third-person RPG games coming soon to PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch 2. A State of Unreal showcase was shown, showcasing the latest in Unreal Engine projects and technologies, namely, because there was a lot that I have a whole lot of other stuff to go through, so I just kind of got the big thing from this one. Yep. A tech demo of Witcher 4 was shown off.
Oh, it
looks absolutely beautiful. Although that they said that's a tech demo, it might not reflect the actual game.
Yeah.
And then an analog horror survival game, Dead Cam, was announced, set in an abandoned Japanese school using like found footage and stuff. Releases in early access June 23rd on PC. Dice Legends was announced, a roguelike deck-building RPG coming to PC Q3 2025, and ballerina content is being added to Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And finally, for my miscellaneous, I say finally, but there's still more to go through, a PlayStation State of Play was held on June 4th.
Yes.
Thank you, Jay, for doing notes, because
I didn't know about it until it was 10 minutes before it started.
I had to watch the whole thing on mute and like half watch it.
Yeah.
So I thank Jay for doing notes, but I also
reactions?
went back and rewatched. Jay, if you want to pull up your reactions, because I
think I deleted it.
Did you delete it? Well, pull up.
I'll have to look.
Pull up our thing on Messenger on your phone, because you sent me pictures of it. So first we had Lumines Arise was announced with the first look trailer from Enhanced. The team behind Tetris Effect has similar gameplay releasing this fall.
I said Tetris-like, not knowing that they made a Tetris game.
Yeah. Literally, I watched it, I'm like, oh, is this Tetris Effect 2? And I'm like, oh, no, it's from the team of Tetris Effect.
Yeah.
Or, for me, I was like, okay, no, that's not Tetris because it's not the bricks.
Yeah.
Puyo Effect?
Yeah.
And then, no, it's its own thing. But it looks really good. Capcom presented a first trailer for Pragmata nearly 5 years after its initial announcement and confirming a 2026 release. It is a... hold on a second. It is... I'll read through my notes, then we'll get to your reaction.
Let me know whenever.
It is a, like, action... not RPG, like, adventure game where you have it's kind of like if you're playing as a big brother from BioShock, and then you have like the little sister on your back to help like take down like robots and stuff. Read your notes and then I'll read the rest of my notes on this.
I go Pragmata, Capcom, gameplay. Ooh, this looks interesting. And immediately after, never mind, little girl gives me Megan vibes.
And I said, Jay, how does this little girl creep you out? It's literally not a horror game.
I know.
And I watched the trailer thinking, oh, does she turn creepy? Like, is she going to
No,
turn...
she doesn't.
Jade...
It's just there's something about it give me Megan vibes. I'm like, I don't like this.
It's not a horror game, though.
I know.
She's perfectly fine. She's adorable.
I have no reason to why I don't like this. Other than she just gives me Megan vibes.
We're going to play this game, and Jay's going to go the whole time going to be like, she's going to turn on us or something.
I know. I'm going to be on edge for no reason at all.
Romeo is a Dead Man got gameplay trailer coming in 2026, a hack and slash game from Suda51, the mind behind No More Heroes.
Looks dope, but too gory for me.
Yep, that's my thought. Silent Hill F got a new trailer showcasing more gameplay and confirming a September 25th release. Pre-orders available now. It looks awesomely creepy. I love what I imagine is the pyramid head of the game is like this girl with like her neck is open with teeth. And, it's gnarly.
You see mine?
Yeah, you can't. Jay can't read his.
We'll just say I said, "Oh no," and I go,
"Oh heck no."
Yeah. Heck no. Nope, I was not. I was like, nope.
Definitely not Jay's thing.
No.
Bloodstained: The Scarlet Entanglement was announced, a prequel to the Castlevania spiritual successor series set for a 2026 release. You don't really have any specific notes on those. Digimon Storytime Stranger got a new trailer and release for October 3rd.
And I go, I swear I heard Nathan Fillion somewhere in that trailer.
I didn't hear it, but who?
No, I don't know.
Of all the random anime games to do, Digimon, that would have to be like Final Fantasy Tactics: The Ivalice Chronicles, a remaster of the classic 1997 tactical RPG, was announced. Includes both the original and expanded remastered versions of the game, releasing September 30th. Jay, tell me what you thought.
Right at the beginning, I'm like, is this Link? Wait, no. Because it wasn't Nintendo. Like,
if they're blonde and have pointy ears, they're Link. You heard that. Walking simulator comedy game Baby Steps, which had another trailer, releases September 8th.
Oh my god, I love this already. And then later, in all caps, love this.
Hirogami was shown, an original origami adventure game releasing September 3rd. Everybody's Golf Hot Shots got a new trailer confirming a September 5th release, showcasing weather and time of day variants, as well as stating that the game has the largest roster ever, including Pac-Man. This game used to be a PlayStation exclusive series, but I think this game was announced at the Switch 2 Direct earlier this year.
I remember because I was doing notes.
Oh, the thing about it having the largest roster ever. Previous games in this series had characters like Professor Layton playable golfers.
Ooh.
So like they can get a little deep cut. So it'll be interesting to see what they mean by largest roster. Like, are they bringing every guest back before, or is it just going to be a whole bunch of new guests? Maybe there'll be version exclusive guests. So maybe like there'll be some Nintendo characters in the Switch 2 version.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound got a new trailer after its announcement at the Game Awards, releases July 31st. Very excited for that one. Cairn, a mountain climbing survival game, releases November 5th.
I said, not gonna lie, intrigued.
Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection from the team behind Atari 50 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Cowabunga Collection includes arcade, console, and handheld editions of classic Mortal Kombat games such as the original Mortal Kombat 2, 3 Ultimate, 4, and more. This will also include documentary and behind-the-scenes material. If it's anything like Atari 50, it's going to be pretty awesome.
They made a very big deal out of it.
PlayStation will be releasing their first fighting stick controller. A new trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It's a remake of Snake Eater. I think it was a PS1 or 2 game. I can't remember how old it is. Releasing August 28th. Jay is very intrigued by that one as well. You would love the
I feel like I love the Metal Gear Solid. I think I said that a couple episodes ago.
It's just stealth espionage games.
Yeah, which I love.
Yeah. Neo 3 was announced, a new game in the Samurai Action series. This entry will also include Ninja Combat playstyles, releasing in early 2026. A demo is available now. Thief VR Legacy of Shadow was announced for VR later this year. From the team behind Road 96 comes Choose Your Own Adventure first-person game Tides of Tomorrow. Save the dying world from those that would exploit it after a cataclysmic flood, releasing February 24th. You love the colors on that one.
I love the colors.
Astrobot will receive 5 new challenge levels and special bots later in June. Additionally, Astrobot DualSense controller will return in 2025 with a twist. That's all they said was with a twist. They teased something, so we'll have to see what that means.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like just got a new pattern or something.
Or
maybe the twist is that it's not limited time.
I know. Oh, that makes the special levels. I'm gonna be raging through them, but I'll get through them.
I still haven't played any of the special levels. I beat it, and then I haven't gone back to try the one level.
Yeah.
And then any of the special levels they added afterwards.
I think I played. I don't think I finished all of them, but I played most of them. I'm excited for the Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah, the Ghost of Yotai. He said other fan favorites. I'm like, they've already added so much. Who could they add? After that at this point,
like, they've already added Spider-Man.
You know, they had the basics like Crash and Spyro and like a bunch of old. Like, I'm just trying to think of who they could add, unless they start adding like characters that really aren't PlayStation exclusive anymore.
Like Mario.
No, well, yeah, not Mario, obviously, but like
Steve from Minecraft.
Yeah. Sea of Remnants was announced, a seafaring adventure game coming in 2026. Looks very, very cool. I love the art style. It's like got this like wooden puppet monkey island feel to it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. From the team behind Journey comes Sword of the Sea, coming August 19th, straight to PS Plus catalog.
So beautiful.
Also, it's the team behind Journey. Of course, it's going to be beautiful. FBC Firebreak, a firefighting zombie apocalypse game. I think that's kind of what I gathered from the trailer. Releases June 17th. Deus Ex releases on the PS Classics catalog June 17th. Twisted Metal 3 and 4 July 15th. Resident Evil 2 and 3 this summer, and Mist and Riven later in June. And a big one, 007 First Light was announced, a prequel game set before James Bond's days as 007, releasing in 2026. A gameplay revival is set for later this summer.
Yes.
Dude. A gameplay reveal, not revival. Dude. This looks so good. Of course, I watched this trailer on mute, and my first thought when he showed up was Nathan Drake. Is this Nathan Drake?
You're about to get some flooding text from me. You're like, I tried it.
I just saw someone's mouth go, that was reckless. I'm like, Nathan Drake?
You get a picture of me just foaming at the mouth.
And but no, it's a
007,
James Bond prequel
which somehow
game.
I'm more excited for.
Dude, this looks so cool. This
my
looks
mom
so
goes,
good.
I told my mom because she was watching it, and I'm like, I will get this day one. She's like, I know you will. She's like, that might be a new trilogy, a new series for you. I'm like, I know.
It better be a new series if that's what they're going for. If the game's good.
Yeah, it's OG. He's getting his 007 license to kill. Oh, I'm so excited. Moneypenny, Q, and I'm
like
so
young
excited.
versions of all those characters. Like, oh man,
I'm so excited.
A new look was given to Ghost of Yotai,
which is random. I feel like
a deeper dive will come this July. It's just a reminder.
I forgot it comes out in October.
Yeah, those showcases happen all the time where it's like, remember this game exists. We'll see you later. And then finally, Arc System Works, PlayStation, and Marvel announced Marvel Token Fighting Souls, a new Marvel tag team fighting game featuring 4v4 mechanics and an anime aesthetic, set for release in 2026. Captain America, Iron Man, Miss Marvel, the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel, Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, Star-Lord,
awesome
Doctor Doom, and Spider-Man and Storm have been confirmed as characters. And in my notes, I wrote, Jay will love this, but won't play it because anime.
I know. But I told you I love that Robbie Reyes is getting in there instead of like Johnny Flame.
It's just cool, and I just love what this means for what the character choices will be. They won't be stuck with the MCU. They'll be able to do their own thing.
Exactly. I just said Johnny Flame. I need to say Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze. Cool to see if we get other Fantastic Four characters. What other X-Men we'll get. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Wolverine will probably be one. What other Avengers we'll get? Because Iron Man and Captain are the really only Avengers, because Miss Marvel's not one.
Yeah.
Star-Lord being
we're
cool.
Gonna get other
and
Guardians.
The fact that it's like its own new universe. So yeah, that was the state of play, and also my miscellaneous news.
I got my second half of miscellaneous. In terms of new looks, we got our first look at Ethan Hawke returning as the Grabber in the Black Phone 2. New look at weapons. First clip of the Predator fighting Vikings in Predator Killer of Killers. A deleted scene was released from Sinners for the 7th episode in a row, featuring the construction of the juke joint. New behind-the-scenes look of Tom Cruise's flaming parachute stunt in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning for the 8th episode in a row. We got a new behind-the-scenes teaser for The Life of Chuck and the first clip from Andy Serkis' animated Animal Farm. In terms of first looks, we got a first look at The Deep in Gen V Season 2. First look at Wicked for Good. We got our first looks at Elphaba, Glinda, Fiyero, Madame Morrible, Nessa, Bach, and the Wizard. First look at Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo together. And the first look at the Wizard of Oz group, as well as our first little snippets of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's each new song that Stephen Schwartz wrote for the movie.
Yes.
Very excited. Looks so good.
Oh, dude.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I cannot wait.
Yeah. Please Don't Feed the Children. We got a first look at Destry Allen Spielberg's directorial debut, starring Juan Carlos Esposito. Film follows orphans who flee in search of a new life, only to be taken hostage by a woman hiding a secret. And first look at Samara Weaving and Catherine Newton in Ready or Not, Here I Come. In box office, Final Destination Bloodlines became the first film in the franchise to pass $200 million worldwide. In Glen Powell news, Glen Powell and A24 are involved in a bidding war for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre rights. Other creatives and studios involved are Jordan Peele and Monkey Paw, Taylor Sheridan and Paramount, Osgood Perkins and Neon, and Netflix. In How to Train Your Dragon news, for the 5th episode in a row, we got a new look and / reveal of a new Lego set, the first How to Train Your Dragon Lego set. In the Icon series, it will be toothless, be 784 pieces, retail for $69.99, and releases on July 1st. Looks adorable. What?
Yeah.
Lego?
No, I was going to confirm. Yeah, sorry. Looks adorable.
Looks adorable. I want to get it as soon as I can. The fish looks adorable. I wish it were like a big build but I get it. If we can get a whole series like this, I'll be fine. I'm fine with whatever we get.
That you think of the target audience for the movies.
Yeah.
Of course it was going to be
something like that.
Something like this.
That looks like Baby Toothless, basically.
I do have Lego news as well.
Yes.
Lego One Piece sets were announced.
Revealed all of them.
Specifically based on the live action, fully announced, because they were teased before.
Yeah.
Specifically based on the live action, which we all knew and kind of figured. But also the live action is, it's still, this is the first time that anime at all is getting Lego sets.
Yeah.
The most expensive set being the Baratai floating restaurant, with
which is its own like icon set.
Yeah, it's a $330 set with something like, I think, 10 minifigures. It's the entire Straw Hat crew, plus the 3 Marine characters.
Yeah,
Admiral Garp, Helmeppo, Kobe, and then Mihawk, as well as Zeph. And then you get, with each set, you also get random wanted posters. They did this previously with the Harry Potter series, where you got little like Wizard World cards.
And each, I think in the Infinity War sets, that you each got an Infinity Stone.
Yeah, and so this is you get their wanted posters, and I think it's one of, I can't remember how many, but even characters who aren't going to be minifigures in the sets will also have wanted posters.
Ooh.
The other sets include the Going Merry, which is significantly lower than the Baratine set at $139.99. This includes the 5 members of the Straw Hat crew from the first season and the Going Merry, but also includes some Easter eggs that reference the anime.
Ooh.
So that's cool, like some food and stuff that's in there. That wasn't quite.
Yeah.
So that's cool. We also got the Arlong the Battle at Arlong Park set for $79.99. This also includes 5 minifigures: a long arm Luffy, Nami, Usopp, Arlong, and Chew. And then we got the Buggy the Clown Circus set for $54.99, which includes, I believe, 4 minifigures: Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Buggy the Clown. And then we got, I think this is the last set, for $29.99. We have Windmill Village. This is young Luffy, Shanks, and Makino. And then it's the bar where he eats the devil fruit.
And you also got Brickheads.
And then there's Brickhead. Then there's 2 Brickheads of Luffy and Buggy.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember the other one.
So yeah, very interesting that there's some sets that I was like, that makes sense. I could see sets of that.
Yeah.
Usopp's Village, which I mean, I guess that it was brought. Trey told me made the point that that episode was considered it was the least well received episode of all of them.
Yeah. So yeah, throw some love to it.
So it not getting a set makes sense. And then the opening when he meets Zoro isn't a set either. So I thought that was interesting. But other than that, pretty cool. Very excited.
Oh, yeah.
I want all of them.
Oh, absolutely.
I at least, just so I can have all the Straw Hats when I get the Going Merry.
Yeah.
It is the only way to get Sanji without spending $300.
Yeah.
Because Sanji's not in any other of the sets. Usopp and Zoro have a couple, and Luffy and Nami are in about every one of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's my Lego news.
I got new announcements. A Phasmophobia movie is in the works at Blumhouse. Will not be seeing it. The live-action Monster High movie is moving forward at Universal, with Gerald Johnstone from Megan set to direct. Jacob Tremblay will star as the Unabomber in a new Netflix thriller, Unabomb. Film follows Kaczynski's transformation from Harvard prodigy into the infamous Unabomber. Ma 2 is in the works, with Octavia Spencer reprising her role. Mikey Madison is in talks to star in a darkly comedic take on Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death for A24. A sequel to One of Them Days is in the works, with Keke Palmer and SZA set to return. A live-action Care Bears movie is in the works at Warner Brothers. Viola Davis will star in a new thriller, Allie Clark, for Amazon MGM. Film follows a woman who goes on a perilous inquiry into an international conglomerate following the suspicious death of a close friend. Camp Rock 3 is reportedly in the works at Disney. A Tulsa King spinoff series is set in New Orleans is in the works at Paramount Plus, with Samuel L. Jackson set to star. And the live-action Mass Effect series is moving forward at Amazon Prime Video, with Doug Young from Mindhunter has been hired as showrunner. And miscellaneous mentionables, Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders have symbolically voted against David Zaslav's $52 million pay package, with nearly 60% thinking he is overpaid.
Slowly but surely, they're turning against him.
Good.
The people that he was like, yes, they trust me, are finally being like, wait a second, every decision you've made except for maybe the DC stuff has not ended well.
Yeah.
Look at all that money the Looney Tunes movie made.
Exactly.
Which wasn't going to make any money in the first place because it was going to be straight to streaming, and they're like, this made some money.
Yeah, $5 million, something like that.
Yeah.
7. Martin Scorsese doesn't watch movies in public movie theaters anymore. Peter Travers says he told him that audiences talk and go on their phones too much during films now. Blumhouse is acquiring the rights to Saw, with Lionsgate still involved as a partner. Creatively, the franchise is now back with James Wan. And as teased in last episodes, I do have the TUDUM news from last week. It's not a lot. Squid Game Season 3 got a new trailer released. Wake Up Dead Man and Knives Out mystery for the second episode in a row. We got our first trailer, which featured the first look at the new cast and a new look at Benoit Blanc, and confirmed a December 12th release date, which we did not know about beforehand.
I would have figured October because of the theme, but December 12th.
I mean, that's when the time. Knives Out came out on Thanksgiving.
It's around the right time. Yeah.
Yeah. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein got our first trailer release, which featured our first look at Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster, our first look at Mia Goth, and a new look at Oscar Isaac as Dr. Victor Frankenstein, and it releases in November. Happy Gilmore 2 got a new trailer. And Stranger Things Season 5 release dates were confirmed, of Volume 1 releasing December 26th, Volume 2 releasing on Christmas, and Volume 3, which is just the finale, releasing on New Year's Eve. Insane. I'm like everyone online was like, this is stupid schedule.
Because
I want to be spending my time with family, and now I won't be able to watch Stranger Things.
They're stretching it out as much as they can just for the sake of it, and it's like whatever.
We're basically getting 3 movies. It's 8 episodes.
Yeah.
I think we're getting the first 4, and then 3, and then 1. First teaser release, which featured first look images as well as the synopsis. And Wednesday season 2, we got our first 6 minutes was released, and Lady Gaga will be confirmed to be playing Rosalind Rotwood, described as a legendary Nevermore teacher who crosses paths with Wednesday. That is all of my miscellaneous news.
My anniversaries have returned.
Yes.
June 1st saw the 20th anniversary of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, 35th anniversary of Total Recall, and the 75th anniversary of the Asphalt Jungle. June 2nd saw the 25th anniversary of Big Mama's House and the 5th anniversary of Valorant on PC. June 4th saw the 25th anniversary of Space Channel 5 on Dreamcast, and the 38th anniversary of Leisure Suit Larry in the Land of Lounge Lizards on Apple II. I saw that, and Dad was just talking about Leisure Suit Larry the other day. I'm like, I have to include it just because it's funny.
Yeah,
I've never played those games. I would never play those games, but it's you know what the goal of those games is, right?
Yeah. I love it. I want to play it so bad.
June 5th saw the 10th anniversary of Spy, 30th anniversary of Earthbound on the Super Nintendo, the 10th anniversary of Turmoil on PC, and the 5th anniversary of Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Switch. June 6th saw the 32nd anniversary of The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on Game Boy, and June 7th saw the 40th anniversary of The Goonies and the 25th anniversary of The Legend of Mana.
40th anniversary of The Goonies?
85.
Oh my goodness, I forgot 85.
And one of the movies that instigated, I believe it was Steven Spielberg's push for a PG-13 rating.
Yep.
That's my anniversaries for this week. Nothing on June 3rd.
I do have, you can see I got a whole bunch on the first 2 and then 1 on June 3rd.
Yeah.
Sunday, June 1st saw the birthday of, this is the second to last appearance of our birthdays, guys. Sunday, June 1st saw the 29th birthday of Tom Holland from Cherry and Uncharted and the MCU Spider-Man. The 88th birthday of literal movie god and voice of my dreams, Morgan Freeman. The 47th birthday of Link Neal, one half of Good Mythical Morning duo Rhett and Link, and the 52nd birthday of Heidi Klum, 44th of Amy Schumer, 79th of Brian Cox, 34th of Zazie Beetz, and 41st of Nikki Glazer, all on June 1st. Monday, June 2nd saw the 37th birthday of Aquafina from Shang-Chi, The Farewell and Migration. The 70th birthday of former SNL star and one half of iconic Wayne's World duo, Dana Carvey. And the 53rd birthday of Wayne Brady, 33rd of Ethan Slater, 47th of Justin Long and Dominic Cooper, 46th of Miranda Bachran, 57th of Andy Cohen, and 48th of Zachary Quinto. Speaking of Andy Cohen, on Tuesday, June 3rd, his best friend and CNN host Anderson Cooper turned 58. Wednesday, June 4th, saw Angelina Jolie of Kung Fu Panda, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith star, turned 50. Keith David from Community, The Princess and the Frog, and Has Been Hotel star, turned 69. And the 89th birthday of Silent Running, The Burbs, and Nebraska star Bruce Dern. Thursday, June 5th, saw the 54th birthday of the other guys, The Departed, Ted, Uncharted, Daddy's Home 1 and 2, star Mark Wahlberg. And the 47th birthday of star and creator of Big Mouth Human Resources and The Kroll Show, Nick Kroll. Friday, June 6th, saw the 61st birthday of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and the White Lotus star Jason Isaacs. And the 57th birthday of Paul Giamatti from The Holdovers, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and Turbo. And Saturday, June 7th, saw the 31st birthday of Aaron Pierre from Mufasa the Lion King and Rebel Ridge star, and the DCU's Jon Stewart. And the 73rd birthday of Liam Neeson from Taken, the Lego Movie, and A Million Ways to Die in the West. And that is all of my birthdays for this week.
In my anime news, we have Detectives These Days Are Crazy, premieres July 1st. Behold, a great detective who thrills the world solving impossible cases in no time. His name, Kichiro Nagumo. But all of that was over a decade ago. Now he's just your typical middle-aged dude. Nagumo is behind the times to the point that he doesn't even know what a smartphone is. But out of the blue, he is confronted by a high school girl named Mishiro, who shows up wanting to be his assistant. Witness the miracles a gender gap detective duo can make. Theater of Darkness, Yami Shibai Season 15 premieres July 15th. Hotel Inhumans premieres July 6th. Hagigakuro returns with new episodes this August. Sanda premieres October 3rd. Format no Ryori Cooking premieres July 5th. Gachiokuta premieres July 6th. Mr. Osomatsu Season 4 premieres July 8th. Puniri is is a Kawaii Slime season 2 premieres July 6th. The manga Wash It All Away is receiving an anime adaptation. Nuki Tashi the animation premieres this July. Apocalypse Bringer Mainogahara premieres July 6th. The anime adaptation of Let's Play premieres later in 2025. The anime film Whoever Steals This Book has set a 2026 release. Descended from a long line of book collectors, high school student Mifuyu is surrounded by books in every aspect of her life. Her great-grandfather established the famous Mikura Hall, a library in the heart of town, and even the townspeople are all avid readers. There's just one problem. Mifuyu hates books. But when a thief of Mikura Hall triggers an ancient curse, she's left with no choice but to reclaim the stolen books herself by entering the very stories she despises. With the help of the mysterious Mishira, will she be able to restore her great-grandfather's collection and save her town from a magical doom? Leviathan premieres July 10th. My Dress Up Darling Season 2 premieres July 5th. The Summer Hikaru Died premieres July 5th. Scooped Up by an S-Rank Adventure premieres July 10th. Kaijo number 8 Season 2 premieres July 19th. Private Tutor to the Duke's Daughter premieres July 5th. And Necronomico and the Cosmic Horror Show premieres July 1st.
I have a couple comics breaking for DC while we were recording. In terms of Clayface, George McKay, Tom Blythe, Jack O'Connell, and Leo Woodall are the finalists to play Clayface in the movie. Peacemaker Season 2 for the second episode in a row. We got a first behind-the-scenes teaser, which featured a new look at John Cena as Peacemaker and a first look at Rick Flag Sr. meeting Peacemaker. And then DC and Marvel both took one project this week and gave us a crap ton of stuff on it. DC, of course, is hyping up Superman for the 8th episode in a row. Got a new look at Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. First character posters for Superman, Crypto, Hot Girl, Guy Gardner, Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific, Superman Robot number 4, Lex Luthor, The Engineer, Rick Flag Sr., Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, Eve Teschmacher, Clark Kent, Cat Grant, and Steve Lombard. Runtime was revealed to be 2 hours and 9 minutes. Got a first look at a new popcorn bucket. James Gunn says Godzilla Minus One ended up being a major influence on the film, saying, quote, "My goal was to make a film like Godzilla Minus One, which depicted Godzilla, but also had great human drama." And James Gunn has announced that it is 100% done and ready for release.
Then just release it now.
That's what I think every time I hear that. I'm like, just release it now.
Let me just see it next week.
Just see it. James?
Send it our way.
James, send it our way.
We won't tell anyone.
Yeah, we won't tell anyone. We'll save our review for when the review embargo.
I did like the quote where he was like, he was denying claims that he had to shorten the movie, and he's like, they couldn't make me shorten it if they tried, or something like that. It was something to that effect, where I was like, you go.
There you go, James Gunn.
Yeah.
Make it longer if you need to. Marvel, for Vision, for the second episode in a row, the Vision series, Emily Hampshire has been cast as a human version of Edith. Tom Hiddleston says he's going to tell the Russo brothers, quote, not to kill Loki again in Avengers Doomsday. And then we got a whole bunch of stuff on the Fantastic Four First Steps for the 8th episode in a row. A scene was shown at CCXP in Mexico. It included Sue Storm going into labor on the Fantastic Four spaceship while Silver Surfer chases after them, intent on capturing the newborn. Reed then orders Ben to take them into a black hole. Joseph Quinn says that Mole Man will appear. Paul Walter Hauser, we called that.
Yeah.
We got some new posters, a new teaser, which featured our first look at Reed, Sue, and Franklin Richards. A new look at Julia Garner, Silver Surfer. A new look at Joseph Quinn as Human Torch. A new look at Reed and Sue. It will be the second MCU film ever to have scenes shot in the full IMAX 1:43:1 aspect ratio, and some sections were also shot on 16mm and 35mm. It sold more tickets on Fandango during its first day this week than any other movie this year, and the set had a rock named Jennifer that they used as a stand-in for the Thing, which was adorable.
I think it crashed the Fandango website, too.
It did. Yeah. It crashed like AMC, Fandango, a whole bunch of websites.
Man, that's our news for this week.
That's our news for this week. I do have a couple of celebrity deaths. John Brenkus was 54, host of ESPN's Sports Science. Monica Nielsen was 87, Swedish actress and singer known for The Cats and the Princess. Eugene Dogo was 88, a Moldovan composer known for A Hunting Accident and Anna Pavlova. Edmund White was 85, acclaimed novelist and pioneer of queer literature. Kadia Lewis was 44, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta star. Ilse-Lil Larsen was 90, Danish actress known for Barnett and Love Wins Out. Nicole Crossel was 88, French actress and singer. And French director Philippe Lebreau was 88. Pietro Ghislandi was 68, Italian actor known for The Invisible Wall and Belle El Bar. Enzo Staiola was 85, Italian actor known for Bicycle Thieves and The White Line. Jason Constantine was 55, an American film executive for Lionsgate. And Jonathan Joss was 59. He voiced John Redcorn in King of the Hill and played Ken Hotate in Parks and Rec, dies after being shot. My sources for this week were Deadline, Movie Insider, @Omelette, Jess Haldop, Cinema Today, Empire, Hollywood Reporter, IGN, Fandango, World of Real, AMC, Famous Birthdays, The Diz Insider, The Insnider, Variety, and of course, Discussing Film.
I want to thank my sources for this week. IGN, Discussing Film, Crunchyroll, and the official sites and socials of the studios mentioned today, and Jay's frantic PlayStation notes. And this week we're doing another draft.
Yes.
We actually have something to do at the end of this episode.
Yes.
We're doing just in theming, with the Nintendo Switch 2 release. We are doing. I didn't include the Switch 2 on purpose.
You didn't include.
I didn't include the Switch 2, but Nintendo consoles, and we're just going to do that. And then we tried to come up with a twist, we couldn't.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of the criteria of who wins when this is all done with is probably going to be like, what is the better group of consoles, game wise, console wise, all that.
Yeah. Which will ultimately be up to you because you know.
So let me
far more lore.
Let me flip
the coin.
Flip the coin here.
Flip the coin. Should I call it? You want me to call it? You want to call it?
Yeah, you call it.
Heads.
Tails.
Dadgummit. I did have my coworker Mike. I told him to give him a shout out. He helped me with this about 2 hours before we recorded, and he said you need to get this one as number 1. So if you don't get it, I'm gonna get it.
Oh, speaking of shout outs, we forgot to include it last week because it was actually we were paused, but shout out to Trent's Mom America.
Shout out to Trent's mom,
who reminds us of Linda
from
Flynn Fletcher from Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah.
We were talking about Phineas and Ferb before we recorded yesterday, and then we were telling her about it. She's like, "You talked about me?" We're like, "Oh no, did we?"
I'm like, "Yeah, we did." And you're like, "Oh no, did we?" And I'm like, "Oh no, did we?"
So this week there we go. Shout out. I'll go first. Super Nintendo is my first pick.
Okay, that wasn't the number 1.
I think I know what your number 1 pick.
That was my number 3.
Okay,
that was my number 3. SNES is. He's like, you need to get SNES in there. Okay, my number 1 that he said you must get this is the N64.
The N64.
Yes.
It's not in my top 5, so
that's not one that I was going to get first. I honestly didn't think about it. My 2 is going to be GameCube.
GameCube. Dang, that's my number 3.
I picked that one specifically for like Luigi's Mansion. That's when we discovered how good of a gamer I was.
I just coughed into the mic. I'm sorry. My number 2 is the Nintendo Switch.
Okay, that was
in
there.
My number 3 will now be the 3DS.
Okay, that was one of my backups. That was originally in my top. I'm gonna go with there was a toss up between these two. The Game Boy Advance. My number 4 will be the Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color. That is also not in my top 5. And then my 4 and 5 is the Wii and the original DS.
The original DS?
Yep.
My 5 will be the NES, which I had on there. Then he goes, oh, no, Super NES. I'm like, okay, I'll add that. Okay, so mine overall was the N64, the GameCube, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy Color, and then the NES. I think you won this.
So I have the Super Nintendo,
the
Switch, the 3DS, the Wii, and the DS.
Yep.
Which combined, I think, has all of what is considered the best libraries of games. And also the Super Nintendo, the Switch, and the Wii are also 3 of the highest selling video game consoles of all time, I think. Although the NES might have outsold the Super Nintendo, possibly.
NES?
Yes. But you have the Nintendo 64 and the GameCube, which is 2 of the worst selling Nintendo consoles of all time. But you also have the Game Boy Advance, which I don't think sold very well, but also has a lot of really good games, which are also games from the Super Nintendo.
But also nostalgia-wise,
you have a lot of good ones. Nostalgia-wise, GameCube is up there.
Yeah.
But
even for just Among Us.
But yeah, and then if we want to talk about, like I said, game libraries, I have Chrono Trigger.
You have everything.
I have Final Fantasy VI. I have Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild.
What was the OG?
The OG Nintendo and the
console?
NES.
NES?
Yeah, Nintendo Entertainment System.
I think you clearly won this one.
Yay!
I was like, I need to get the Switch in there.
And on that note, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those interactive things. Be sure to follow the podcast on most social medias at Mondays for Nerds. Follow me on most social medias at Sir Sumslot or Sir Sumslot17.
Follow me on most at Poe the Pan is 001 or Chris M. Pratt fan. We will see you next week when you will have my thoughts on the highly anticipated How to Train Your Dragon.
And my thoughts on the Summer Games Fest.
Yes.
Including some stuff that we have definitely seen while we were recording,
definitely.
that I'm very excited for to talk about. So we'll see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.